Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So sorry for the amount of time that I didn't post anything. So yeah, so today we're going to do this proximity thing with sphere. So how it works is there's this sphere rotating and these little squares keep appearing so they can make a little platform for the ball to stand on. So as you can see, that animation is playing over here. That's how it looks like. And in the rendered view, it's like this. So I just want to thank Lucky 3D for the inspiration. He's been doing some proximity things recently on his channel, so you should go check him out. So yeah, I'm going to start by creating a new. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete the camera and the light. I'm going to re-add them later, but I prefer to have the working space like this. So for the geometry nodes, the first thing we're going to do is add a grid, and then for the size I'm going to put it 10, and then for the vertices I'm going to add 30. So if we go over here to the wireframe view, as you can see, there's a lot of vertices now, and what we can do is instance on points. So it's going to disappear because we don't have an instance, and the instance that we're going to use, we're just going to actually model it because we can add bevel. So I'm just going to scale it like this. So I'm going to press Ctrl A to apply the scale. So my bevel, when I add over here the bevel on the modifiers tab, it will work properly. So I'm going to do this and then harden normals and auto smooth. So over here, now we can come to tab, but we can go to tab and select these things, the side things over here with the select mode. Sorry, I'm kind of confused. And we can bevel. So I don't like putting in too much bevel for this project, but you can do whatever you want. So now we're just going to put this out of the way and select the cube. And when we bring this over here, as you can see, it just becomes a solid platform, but that's because it's really big. So we can scale over here until they're almost touching. So maybe something like this. I think that's good. And then for the names of the things, I'm just going to rename this cube to be the instance, and over here the cube is going to be the geo nodes. So I'm just going to call it geo. I'm going to hide the instance for now, and the next thing we have to do is at the proximity stuff. So we're just going to go down here and start by adding a geometry node proximity. Wait, here, over here, and then we're going to add a mesh line. So if you saw the key 3D doing, this is what he does. So he puts a 1 point, like just a dot, and then uses a point. But so we can move this point easily, we add an empty, and then over here on the empty, we plug the location into the start location and relative. So now what we're going to do is plug this distance into a lot of stuff. So we're going to add a scale instances over here, and then we're going to add a rotate instances. So and then lastly, we're going to add a translate instances. So now that we got those three, we can make some space over here so we can start adding the map range. So over here on the map range, we can plug the first one and it's going to be the scale instances. So this one is the simplest one. We just invert it like this, the the value, because 0 becomes 1 and 1 becomes 0. And then I don't know really much how to explain this, but you just move the values until you think it's good. So something like this. Yeah, you can copy my values if you like the result that I'm having. So this is the first volume, the first distance that we're going to make. So we're just going to add another map range and a combined exponency. No, so for the rotate instances, we're going to plug the result into the x and y, and we're just going to duplicate this and put this on the z for the translation. So I'm going to do just translation first because it was the first one I moved, and cut until I'm done. To when I'm done. So guys, I found a problem. So it was just to move the order of these three things. So first you put the translate, then the scale, then the rotate. So these are the values that I ended up with the translate instances, and for the scale, these are the values. If you wanted it to look like mine, so you can pause there and copy them. So now for the rotation, finally, it's kind of hard to see how it's looking, but I'm going to, if you don't want to try to find the good values, like experimenting like this, you can just skip to the part where I'm done doing this. So one way to see how it works is if you move, you can see how they're rotating. So they're just like this for me, and you can just keep moving those values until you find a good one. So mine is looking good. If you want to change yours, you can just keep changing until you find it good. So now that we have all this, we can finally start to animate stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is just plug this over here, and then I'm going to duplicate it on the x-axis. So like this. No, sorry. So I'm not going to duplicate it. I'm just going to Alt D to make an instance of it. So better. And then we can just plug the over here again. So if we move on the X, we can move way further than we could before. So now for the sphere, I'm going to add the UV sphere over here, move it up and scale until I like it. So I like to keep it really big, like almost filling the whole space. I think that's kind of good already. So just try to make it as exact as possible over here. And then you can go and parent it to the empty. So you select it first, and then you select the empty and press Ctrl P, and then object. So if we move this around, as you can see, it's not working. And now for the rotation. no, for the animation, sorry. So the rotation is in the animation, but we can come over here to the layout because it's easier to work with. And then we can see where is the thing over here. So the sphere is going to start over here and then at this point. So we can move the empty for this. So on the frame 0, we instance, no, sorry, we don't instance anything. We press K for the location. And then at frame 200 is what I did for the original project. I'm just going to see where the thing is. Draw a little point. And then I'm going to move the empty all the way to the point. So now you can press K again and location. And it won't look like a loop, but because it's just because of the camera. So as you can see, it's working, but we still need to add the rotation. And another thing, we come over here, and when we select the keyframes with A, we can press T and put a linear. So then it will be better for the loop. So now we're going to go to frame 0 and over here to the object properties. We're just going to see what axis we're rotating on. So it's Y, and we're going to press I on the Y, and then at frame 200, if you did what I did, it's going to be 720, the rotation that you're going to need. Oh, minus 720. Sorry. So now, if you come here, press T again for the linear. As you can see, the sphere is rotating. So if you did differently than me, you just come to the end frame and type in 360, so or minus 360, and then this little thing, asterisk I think, and then type a number like 3, 4, and see what it will look good for you. So it was 3 rotations for me. No, it was 2 rotations for me. So that's minus 720. So now that I got the sphere, I can start to make the materials and that stuff. So over here, we're going to go to the shading and create a new material, and then create a new slot and then a new material. So for the material 01, I'm just going to call it glass, and the other one I'm going to call it plastic or anything. So now for the slots, I'm going to go over here to edit mode with tab, the face select, and we're going to go to X-ray, so it's out Z for that. And then I'm going to select half of the thing. As you can see, I selected half, and then I can go to the plastic and assign it. So you won't see any difference right now, but if we go to the plastic material, we can come over here and select whatever color you want. So I'm going to put a blue, and then as you can see, it just applied this on that half of the material. So you can mess up with this material. In my picture, I'm going to show exactly what I did, but on the glass, just put the transmission up, and as you can see, it isn't working, but that's because we're on like the roughness and the thing, and we need to be on cycles or do a lot of things with the Eevee for it to work. But it still looks like a glass sphere, so we just add a solidify, and that's it. So for the rest of the materials, it's going to be on Patreon. If you already know how to do Blender, you probably already know how to make it just by seeing renders. So yeah, the lights and other rendering stuff is going to be on my Patreon, and I hope to see you there. So thank you for all my patrons, and thank you for watching. So see you guys in the next video.